You know what would be better than watching this commercial? Watching your commercial. Join the party that is Make Your Day Richer TV by advertising your brand, business, or project during the show. Use us to promote what you're doing to make our viewers' day richer. Scan the QR code or visit makeyourdayricher.com/advertising to start promoting today.
Make your day richer than it was before. Got some good times knocking upon your front door.
Well, hi everyone. What's the song from the Music Man? 106 trombones, 106,000 views and downloads of this show. Thank you so much for watching and sharing and enjoying the show as much as I love making the show. Now's a good time to just press share right now. Share the show wherever you're watching or listening, and let's get us to 107, shall we? Maybe 110 by Monday when we have all new shows again. Let's see. So yesterday, I don't know if you saw, but we were watching a dog here at the house for 2 weeks, and I have a dog that lives here full time, and she left yesterday, and my dog is so sad. She has been moping around, not really eating, doesn't want to do anything. So dog owners, what do you do when your dog is really sad because their friend left? This kind of happens every time because we watch dogs often. And this happens every time we have a dog for a long time. My dog gets attached, and then she's such an emotional dog. I don't know what to do. Can someone help me? And no, not just get a dog for her. We don't want 2 dogs. We had 2 dogs, and the other one died, over a year ago now. He was 16, and she had a really hard time with that as well. And so when these dogs come into her life, she makes friends very easily. And then when they go away, she just sat at the door looking at the door yesterday like, is she coming back? It was so sad. Anyway, what also is sad is that Christmas is coming down this weekend. Our beautiful, beautiful Christmas set, all the stuff in my house. This is a sad time of year for me. I love when it's up. I do love when it goes down, like when everything's clean again and organized, but everything looks so bare when it comes down. And so that's the plan for this weekend, and it just makes me so sad. When do you usually put your stuff down? Are you like a day after Thanksgiving and a day after Christmas everything comes down? I know some people leave their stuff up until March. But when do you do it? What's your favorite time to put up the Christmas stuff and take down the Christmas stuff? And then what do you do to like transition? Because it can be so jarring, and then it's dark all the time and it's colder. How do we do this, people? How do we do it? Help me. Help me transition. It's taken me 40 years and I still don't know the answer. Okay. If you got Amazon gift cards for Christmas and you're like, I don't know what to buy, go to makeyourdayricher.com/shop and start shopping for all the things that I love, all the things that I think you'll love. And there's a bunch of great stuff on there, from coffee to vacuums and everything in between. Go check that out. If you're starting a podcast, there's my camera's on there, my lights are on there, all good stuff there for you if you'd like to do that. And if you're looking for a place to film your podcast, come right here in this studio, and we can do anything in the studio. So come here and do that. You can email info@makeyourdayricher.com and say, hey, I want to start a podcast, help me, and we'll do that. All right, I think that's it. We have a great show today. Really great show. My guest today has been performing since he was just 6 years old. Tyler Foley has built a diverse career spanning film, television, stage, and now the world of speaking and authorship. You could recognize him from his films like Freddy versus Jason or the Tony Award-winning musical Ragtime. Hello. He's also the best-selling author of the Power to Speak Naked book, which is right here on your screen. I wonder if that's him on the cover. We'll have to ask. Please welcome Tyler Foley. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing well. I've been looking forward to our little conversation.
Well, I'm glad you're here because you've got a lot going on, and I think your book is going to be amazing for people maybe starting businesses, and I think it's a great resource. But you've been acting since you were 6?
Yes, yeah. First time I was on stage was a Christmas pageant when I was 6 years old. Like the elementary school Christmas play.
Uh-huh.
And then very shortly after that, I got my first professional theater performance with a local production of A Christmas Carol here. And that was my first introduction into professional theater. And I haven't looked away from performing since.
Where did you grow up?
Grew up in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, actually just south of on a very small rural community called High River. And we've had a family farm and been out at the acreage for a long while and then grew up in town, but all of the family were farming. So I was a little bit, ironically, I was a black sheep on a pig farming.
I was going to ask, it sounds like, you were the only one that kind of went the entertainment route. Were they creative at all, your family members, or were you the only one that went that way?
No, all my family is very, very creative. My father was a teacher, but he loved to play music. He actually played banjo. I inherited his banjo. I have the banjo now. I do not play banjo. I would like to learn in honor of my father, but I'm not good at guitar either. I play keyboard and drums. I played the tuba in junior high. The tuba was larger than myself. My sister is very artistic. She liked doing drama and theater. My mom is an amazing singer. She just doesn't do it often. And then all my family too, very, very creative, very artistic. I remember my cousin and I going and doing video editing together in high school. We did television arts. So there is a creative side to it. It's just, I have a very conservative rural farming background. And then here I am running around in tights on stage.
What does that feel like? Not the tights on stage, but like, what does it feel like to be able to have that sort of expression and be able to be so artistic like that?
Well, I think it was one of the greatest gifts that I was ever provided in my life, the ability to be somebody different, to learn human emotions and be able to recognize emotions, and just to be able to find that personal expression, I think was an invaluable tool and skill set to develop, especially at such a young age. Like to be able to have an outlet, particularly going through like puberty and emotional changes. And my father passed away at a very, very young age for him and a very young age for me. I was only 6 years old when my father died. And so to have that as an emotional outlet, to kind of process through grief, was helpful too. So for all reasons, stage was freeing, and the tights are actually not too bad either.
Especially in Canada where it's cold, it like keeps the heat in, right?
Freezing right now. Actually, today is okay. I live in an area that gets what are called Chinooks. They're warm air that comes over the mountains from the Pacific, and so today is not bad. In Celsius, it's 2 degrees, 3 degrees, I think. I don't know what it is in Fahrenheit. That's got to be low 50s, I think. But it was freezing cold. Barely. Or no, actually, it's closer to 30s, I think, because freezing is what, 36 degrees Fahrenheit?
32.
32. So we're about 34 degrees right now here, which is warm. Cool. I was happy.
That's how you know. I grew up in northern Wisconsin, so also 40 degrees was like almost summer weather. Did you ever think of moving, or have you just loved living there?
No, I did move. So when I was 17, before I was even out of high school, I went to Vancouver, which is Hollywood North here, and was there for almost 7 years on and off because a good friend of mine came out to the coast about a year afterwards because I was doing really good and he's way more talented than I am. So I was like, Dave, you got to come hang out. And then he got a really good agent and manager, and we just kind of kept rising our star and ended up doing a pilot season, 2 pilot seasons in LA, going down there. I did a brief bit in Toronto and then New York because Toronto and New York are very close. So I performed all over, but I got really bored with it around my late 20s and actually went back to school and got an engineering degree just because I was tired of acting.
Wow. And you were paralyzed at 17. Let's rewind a little bit. What happened?
That's a good question. Nobody actually knows.
Gosh.
New Year's Eve, 1996, my face worked. New Year's Day, 1997, I woke up and the left side of my body was paralyzed. If it was a stroke, I probably wouldn't have been able to recover. If it was a Bell's palsy, it would have only affected my face, not the rest of my body. I've had various theories over the years of what it could have been. All I know is that I woke up and didn't work and had to withdraw from a musical that I was actually in. Very tap intensive, tap dancing. And so when your feet don't work, you definitely don't get to do the musical. And it was hard to because I got paralyzed, it was hard to actually like control my voice. So singing was out, and I kind of, if I wasn't playing Quasimodo, I wasn't going to be playing anything. But my whole face drooped. I had to sleep with an eye patch for almost 4 months because I couldn't close my eye. It was quite, I was worried for a long while. But the blessing to that was, I ended up doing all my schooling remotely, and I had a really good medical team behind me, and I got some really good physio going, and I was able to gain a lot of the movement and feeling back fairly quickly. It took at least 3 or 4 months before I could pass as okay, and then another probably 7 to 8 months before I felt that I was about 95% there.
Wow.
But that gave me the freedom to go, because I was one of the first people to do distance learning on the internet. Like that's old. I remember when you had to dial up with the internet.
I did it before I was school. Yeah.
And so, but because I was able to do that, I was actually afforded the luxury of being able to go to Vancouver while still technically going to school in Calgary. And that allowed me to audition for a couple of roles. And I got a few, ironically, where I was masked up, so you didn't see my face. So it would, and then some voiceover roles, and then it just kind of blossomed from there.
And are you fully recovered?
Medically, the answer is yes. Emotionally, probably not. When I get really run down and really tired, I can start to see it in my face. So like, even if you guys look back at the video really carefully, I'm using this side of the mouth more than this side of the mouth, and my eye will start to twitch, which are all signs that I need to go to a chiropractor, an acupuncturist, and get some sleep.
Well, we'll make this fast so you can go take a nap, because I don't want to be the reason why you end up back in the hospital. That has to be so scary. Like that is there, I suppose they don't know, like if it could happen again, or you just...
I plan every day with the thought that it could. So the nice thing is it keeps me on my toes.
Yeah.
It keeps it so that I appreciate each day, right? Because at 17, your whole world is in front of you, but you don't realize it. Mm-hmm. And I remember being thinking that everything had been taken from me. And I actually had some of the best advice I ever got from one of my doctors, and a man who is very much a father figure in my life, was then and still is now, Robert Corbett. And Bob said to me, I remember being mad because we didn't have a diagnosis. And he said, it's probably the greatest gift that you got, because if you had a diagnosis, there'd only be one thing that we can do to fix you. But because we don't know what it is, we get to try everything and something may work. And so he was really good at always helping me reframe situations and, pointing out that for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. And we have a choice of which one we follow. And so he was, and always has been, very instrumental in helping me see the bigger picture, and that this wasn't the end and that I could still do things. And he was actually the one who was like, well, look, now you're doing everything remotely. You don't have to be here in Calgary. If you want to be an actor, you got to go where the acting is, and it's not here in Calgary.
Your book is amazing. It's called The Power to Speak Naked.
Yes. Yes.
Right there.
Yes,
is that you on the cover?
Wouldn't it be great if it is? Look at how defined those guys' lats are.
Yeah.
I would love it. Yeah. No, that is a stock image from Jeff Bezos's site, which is ironic because of that image, Jeff Bezos won't let me advertise on his site because it goes against their decency policy. It shows the breasts and or buttocks in a sexually suggestive manner, according to Jeff and his AI team. And so therefore, although published on his platform at one point, I cannot advertise my book on his lovely site.
Well, then tell everybody where they can get it, where they should go get it, not on his
The
website.
best place to go get it is bookshop.org. You can get it at any one of your local retailers. My publisher, Morgan James, did an excellent job of getting it into like 40 countries and bookstores everywhere, Barnes & Noble, Chapters, Indigo, all of those wonderful places. But particularly in this day and age, your local mom and pop brick and mortar bookstore is very likely struggling. So if you don't want to go out into the world and you would like the convenience of shopping online, like a site like Jeff's, bookshop.org is great because it connects you with your local book retailer. They get credit for the sale. You also get the book for just slightly cheaper because this book retails in the US $17.95, and on bookshop.org, I think you can get it for $16.50. So you save a little bit of money that way. And bookshop.org takes a percentage of all of the books that are sold on there, whether it's mine or anybody else's. So if you just like literature, bookshop.org is the place to go. They take a percentage of all book sales and pool it into a fund that local bookstores can go to for financial aid and financial relief.
Oh, wow.
So for all those reasons, bookshop.org is just the most amazing, amazing platform. And I love that my book is available on them.
I love that. Tell everybody what the book is about.
The book is basically a 35-year download of my brain on how to be a more confident public speaker. I found that the question that was asked most of me from all walks of life, my social circle, my professional circle, just random strangers after they'd seen me talk, is how do you do it? And what they meant was, how do you go up on stage and not look like a complete fool? And so I ended up creating a course originally entitled Basic Instructional Technique, because if you tell somebody you're going to a public speaking course, they will just freeze up and not go. So we called it Basic Instructional Technique, and then became The Power to Speak Naked. And it was a 2.5-day seminar. And the book is basically transcription of all of the teachings from it into one really easy to digest 10-chapter book. According to my publisher, it's a 114-minute read. So just slightly under 2 hours. It's great on a plane ride.
That's perfect. Would you say it's for people who are up on big stages speaking? Is it for managers? Like, who would be reading?
Originally, it was designed for people who had been thrust into a leadership position who didn't want to be in a leadership position because part of it included speaking in public. And so that is really, if there was a target audience, it is those unintentional leaders, the people who have been promoted into a position but don't feel comfortable leading a team, or really don't feel comfortable speaking in front of a group of people. That is who the target audience is. But I've had seasoned professionals who have come and said they've taken things away from the book, or that I'd framed things in a way that they hadn't thought of before. So that's always really, really rewarding, because like, they're big names in the industry. And so really it's for anybody who wants to get better at public speaking, but specifically the people who know they have to do it, but really don't want to and struggle.
Okay. What are you working on now?
What aren't I working on now? I am, have the joy and the luxury. My 9-year-old daughter has become a bit of a thespian herself. So me and her are actually in a staging of The Wizard of Oz together. She's playing one of the Munchkins. I get to play the Scarecrow. So that's super fun. That goes up in February. I'm working on the audio version of the book. We're also working on releasing the revised edition of the book. So The Power to Speak Naked, bigger, longer, and uncut should be about double the size. I know the innuendo is there. I snuck that pat. My publisher is primarily a Christian publisher, and the fact that I snuck that by the QA team brings joy to my heart every time, because it's too late. The title, all the work is done, and it's going out now. And so that's that. And then I'm growing all of my businesses. So Total Buy-In, the safety consulting side is growing. The Power to Speak Naked and Drop the Mic, which are training sides, are growing. So I'm putting my fingers in as many pies as possible, and hoping that they all bake nicely.
I love it. What do you love most about your life right now?
The freedom of it. Honestly, I just came back on, from traveling all around Canada. I was gone for a week, and to be able to come back and have a day where a friend of mine phoned, and she was selling alpaca wool at a market, Christmas market, pop-up market, and her helper had bailed on her because freezing cold, and it's an outdoor market. And so her helper didn't want to come, and she phoned and asked if I could help, and I was able to do that. And my daughter had a dentist appointment today, and so I had the morning off, and I could go do it. The freedom and flexibility that comes with my job and my career. And then the fact that I am fairly well compensated for it too. So the financial remuneration isn't too terribly bad, and that gives me the freedom to have time to do whatever I want as well. So for all those things, I am very, very blessed. My wife has an excellent career as well, so we're not hurting from a resource perspective, and that I think makes for a very comfortable and abundant life.
What's the best way that people can connect with you?
Best way is to check the show notes on your show, because that is going to be the quick way. And before they come to my area, they should probably take time to say why they like Make Your Day Richer, because that is how they're getting introduced to me. So I would strongly encourage them, before they come to my platform, to say thank you on your platform and say what they like about this podcast and give a 5-star review. And if they're willing to give you a 5-star review, then they can come over to my website by clicking on the show notes, or just typing in SeanTylerFoley.com in their web browser. And if you come over to SeanTylerFoley.com and you leave Make Your Day Richer at least a 5-star review, and say why, because those stars have a little description bar at the bottom, and we want to say what are you enjoying about the show? What are some of your favorite guests? What are some of your favorite topics? What would you like to see more of? If you can provide some valuable feedback, it'll help all of us. It'll help all of us in the long run, because the show will get the guests that you're looking for. I will get a little bit more exposure because there will be more 5-star reviews. Everything in this ecosystem gets improved. And if you are willing to do that, you come over to SeanTylerFoley.com. I have a free PDF download of the book, so you don't have to go to bookshop.org. You don't have to go to Jeff Bezos' site. You don't have to spend $17.95. You can get the book for free. And along with that, there's a QR code inside of the books that you can click on and get all of our free resources that come with the books, as well as access to our Drop the Mic speaker series and some other freebies and goodies that are probably up there for you to click and find out.
There you go. Tyler Foley, my new manager, clearly, is here doing all my PR. Thank you so much for being on the show today.
Oh, it was an absolute joy and a pleasure. And thank you so much for reaching out. Quick shout out to PodMatch for putting us together, and the platform that Alex has put together. It's such a joy and a pleasure when I get to connect with amazing hosts and amazing shows like this. So I do appreciate you using the platform, for reaching out and asking me to be on. What a gift and what a treasure, and happy holidays.
Happy holidays. We'll see you in 2025. Also, Wizard of Oz, favorite movie of all time. I have a Wizard of Oz tattoo. So congrats on that gig because I'm a little jealous.
Thank you. I'll send you behind the scenes pictures.
Thank you very much. Tyler Foley, everyone. The book, Power to Speak Naked, available now. We're going to take a break and we'll be right back after this. Don't go away.
You know what would be better than watching this commercial? Watching your commercial. Scan the QR code or visit makeyourdayricher.com/advertising to start promoting today.
I forgot that those are a lot shorter than they used to be, and I need to be ready. Hey, have a great weekend, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. Now, another great time to share the show. So if you're sitting there still watching, boom, share. Thank you. Go make your day richer. Go make someone else's day richer. You've made mine for watching this show, and I love you for it. Hey, starting Monday, 2 guests per show. And on Monday, we have Mike Montag, who's the author of a great book, Playful Humans. And then we have Christine Darley Klein, who we recorded this actually last summer. And then she has a funny book coming out about kind of a serious topic, the scammers on Facebook Messenger. That she is a great comedian, and she wrote a book about her experience with catfishing a catfisher. So she's here. Everything's going to look a little different because we had different cameras, we had a different desk, but it's still a new show. Anyway, that's happening on Monday, and by then you'll forget I even said this. So have a great day, everybody. Thanks for watching. See you later.